Alright, in order to make a new part, you gotta come up here to File New. And you're gonna go to New Design. And you're gonna go ahead and create a new sketch. We're gonna choose right here on this plane. And this time we're gonna import an SVG. We're gonna insert an SVG. So I'm gonna hop online. I wanna do the Chicago flag. So I'm gonna type in Chicago flag SVG. I might even put a .svg because it's the file format. And this is the one I want right here. Oh. I believe it's coming up as a PNG. I want the SVG file. Usually if you click the flag, it usually pops up with the download option. Here we go. Click on the setting button and you can hit your download button to download the SVG. Now this will go in your downloads folder right here. So if you come over here, you can insert your SVG. After you make your rectangle. Your rectangle has to be smaller than 3 inches by 5 inches. So I'm just going to do like 2.95 inches for my rectangle. And hit the tab button. So I can kind of clean up my edges. I might even make it 2.9 inches. I'm going to hit my tab button and I'm going to make it 5 inches long. Oh. I'm going to hit tab again. So it's going to be 2.9 inches by 5 inches. I'm going to left click once. And now I have a 2.9 by 5 inch rectangle here. I'm going to hit the home key. So it flips it over to 3D mode, and I'm going to hit stop sketch. I'm going to go over here to create, and I'm going to go to extrude, and I'm going to extrude it out negative 0.875 inches. And I'm going to select OK here. I'm actually going to take that back. I'm going to go negative 0.85 inches. And the reason why is because we're going to mill off about 25 thousandths off the top of it, off the bottom side. From there, you're going to go into Insert, and you're going to go to SVG file. And you're going to put the SVG file right on the top surface, right up here on your XY plane, right where your sketch was on the XY plane. So you're going to go to SVG file, you're going to hit the open folder, and you're going to have to go to your downloads folder. It's the most recent download that you're going to have. It'll be the Flag of Chicago, SVG. It's all SVG files here. And again, I'm going to choose this XY plane. And it puts in a giant Chicago flag. And in order to scale it, it's really easy to do. You can move it by grabbing this arrow and put it in the corner you want it. And you can scale it by just moving this little corner piece over. Not terribly difficult, but... And I'm actually going to make mine the full size of my document. And I'm going to try and raise it up a little bit. Might have to zoom in for this to kind of center everything out the way I want it. And it looks very centered right now. And I'm going to select OK. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude these different pieces out on 3 different levels. So, first off, I definitely don't want the stars. So I'm going to kind of come in here. I'm going to go to Create, Extrude. And And I'm going to select this feature and all of the star features in the middle, because I want to extrude all this down. I'm going to end up coming back and laser engraving the stars at a later point. So what I'm going to do is, I have my 5 features selected. I'm going to hit this top button on my home screen, and I'm just going to move it back a little bit in. And I don't want to go in negative 500. I want to go negative 0.25. This is my own personal preference. This is my design. So you can kind of choose however deep you want to make this up. I might go 0.375. And then it appears that my second sketch of my flag disappeared. But if you just come over here under sketch and hit the light, it will pop back up. And I'm going to go back to extrude. And I am going to create extrude. And I'm going to go ahead and select these 2 features. And I'm going to do a negative 0.2 for those 2. Might go 0.1. Now I have something that's going to kind of look like the Chicago flag when I'm done. I'm going to end up laser engraving the stars in the middle. The last thing I need to do is sketch out make one more sketch for the circle in the middle, because I want to have this to be a coaster holder. So what I'm going to end up doing here is I'm going to make one final sketch. I'm going to turn the flag off. I'm going to create one more final sketch. I'm going to make it right back here on this XY plane. Sometimes you can. If you made everything negative, you can go right here to the XY plane. Otherwise, you're going to have to make it right there on that top surface. So your other option is you got to select here and go to your top surface. Now you're going to make your final circle. In order to make that final circle, we're going to have to find our center point both in the middle here by going directly across, and our middle here. We don't want an ellipse, we want a circle. Here we go. Circle, center point circle. And I want to be right in the center of both of these points. And we want to make it 3.275 big. But the only problem is we don't know where it's located at. I know one of my center lines is good, so you have to come back and you have to measure it out. That is not that's not centered. It's supposed to be 2.9 divided by 2, which would be 1.45. And our dimension over to the right, in order to center this perfectly, is going to be 2.5 inches, or 5 divided by 2, which is 2.5 inches. So I have a 3.275 circle that's located at 2.5 inches over on the right and 1.45 over up from the bottom. I'm now ready to extrude this all the way through. I'm going to go for this entire circle. You might have to make multiple selections to extrude the whole thing out. And we're going to go one way. We're going to go down 0.875. And we're going to make a cut feature. And it's going to be going downwards. It could be more than 0.875. But as long as it goes through the whole feature. This is a feature that's going to hold the coasters. Alright? And you're going to end up writing all your tool paths on this part.